congratulation because of launching such this beautiful channel. Why does it deserve saying congratulation? Because this channel name is the paradise, the real paradise, which really means real, eternal and complete happiness that can never ever be but just only one thing, which is what? Of course, this is why this beautiful channel has been lovely and honestly launched for. So what? So, someone may say, as long as the paradise building really means the eternal and complete happiness building, so then it is the most ever beautiful thing that I can ever know. As a matter of fact, the right is rather to say the most ever beautiful thing is undoubtedly such a beautiful lover God, who is the builder of such a beautiful paradise complete building. So, why such a beautiful lover God has lovely and generously built such a beautiful paradise complete building, which really means the eternal and complete happiness building as well. Actually, the more I see such a beauty of all those beautiful creatures everywhere around me and also inside me as well, the more I undoubtedly believe, and of course, my God loving to me. Actually, the more I see such a beauty of all those beautiful creatures everywhere around me and also inside me as well, the more I undoubtedly believe in, of course, my God loving to me and also to all such beautiful creatures as well. As a matter of fact, beauty is mainly a part of such a beautiful paradise building where the Creator has already aimed, started creating the creature in. Why? For of course making him happy habitant forever. For what? For of course just getting the creature to know his creator as a real beautiful lover to him who has mainly aimed started creating him and also all beautiful creatures as a whole just for generously loving each one of them and for also making each one of them respectfully and gratefully loves him as well. And so that's why such a beautiful lover God has of course lovely and generously just imaged such a beautiful permanent loving in between him and his lover as well in a real beautiful paradise complete building, meaning in a real building of eternal and complete happiness, where the God lover can really be live in happy forever by of course such uncountable bestowed proving graces either all around him and also inside him as well, which of course undoubtedly indicate to such uncountable beautiful God loving to his beautiful lover as well. Also, it must be taken into consideration here such a beautiful lover got invitation. So, it is such a beautiful lover God who has lovely, generously, and properly aimed from the beginning, invited the God lover as an open invitation to notice the beauty and the beautifying by such a beautiful lover God for attracting his lover by the beauty of the paradise building, for getting him to know such his creator as a real beautiful lover to him, building on that no one will care about beautifying to you for making you happy by the beauty unless he really loves you, unless he is a real lover to you. So, what about if such that beautiful lover who cares about beautifying to you for making you happy by the beauty is such your beautiful lover God, who is lovely and generously the creator of love, meaning happiness, meaning the paradise, meaning the beauty, and the creator of everything else. So, just notes. Notes also here that it is such a beautiful lover God from the beginning, who has simply explained as usual to his lover that as his aim behind started creating has been lovely and generously getting the creature to know his creator as a beautiful real lover to him, who has mainly aimed started creating just for generously loving each one of them and for also making each one of them respectfully and gratefully loves him as well. So that's why such a beautiful lover God has lovely, generously, and properly aimed appearing himself to his lover from behind such his lover's own beautiful paradise complete building. By such all his holy names that he as such a beautiful lover God aimed getting his lover to know him with such his holy names that all completely are lovely, generous, and great names, so that once the God lover see himself leaving such his own eternal and complete happiness, meaning leaving such his own beautiful paradise complete building, he can then obviously know by the proof and also undoubtedly believe in such his beautiful lover God real existence through obviously knowing and then undoubtedly believing in such beautiful lover God real beautiful aim behind started creating that represented in such happiness, meaning in such paradise, and that of course means obviously knowing and undoubtedly believing in the truth by its reality, meaning by the proof upon that it is undoubtedly the truth, not anything else. So that also such a beautiful love or God aim behind started creating can then be done or implemented as well. Also, so that once the God lover find himself in such his own beautiful paradise complete building, which his beautiful lover God has lovely and generously created him in for living in, so happy forever, he then of course can obviously know and undoubtedly believes in such his beautiful lover God real existence and also believes in also such a beautiful God aim behind started creating as well, which is the aim of what? That's right. It is such a beautiful aim of getting creature to know his creator as a real beautiful lover to him who has mainly aimed started creating him and of course all beautiful creatures as a whole just for generously loving each one of them and also for making each one of them respectfully and gratefully loves him as well. And that's why such a beautiful lover God has lovely and generously bestowed to his lover such incomparable proving paradise grace with such its uncountable bestowed proving graces and the most beautiful obvious and enough proof upon what? That's right, upon such uncountable and incomparable kind of love from such a beautiful lover God to his lover as well, for which such beautiful lover God must of course be respectfully, gratefully, and properly loved by his lover, with also such incomparable proper kind of love, which such a beautiful lover God himself, who has lovely, generously and properly established, obviously explained it and named it the worshipping or the religion, which no more, no less, but only such whole beautiful moralities represented simply by such a beautiful lover God in either all what it has properly to be done by the God lover, whether it is female or male, and also all what it has not properly to be done, through which the God lover can then, of course, really prove his real loving to such his beautiful lover God as well. That is generally all of it. So, that's of course why we can obviously see that such a proper way, meaning worshipping, meaning also the religion, includes such beautiful rituals that of course indicate to such beautiful signs of love that are being performed by the God lover as an obvious proof upon his faithful real love to such his beautiful lover God, such as praying, kneeling, prostrating, fasting, giving charity, helping others, and so on. So, as a matter of fact, no wonder then at all that such a proper way, meaning worshipping, meaning also the religion, comes no more, no less, but such whole beautiful moralities that have been lovely, generously, and properly established by such a beautiful love of God for being respectfully, gratefully, and properly loved with by his lover. Such, of course, a proper kind of love, by such a proper way, of course, such a beautiful love of God undoubtedly deserves that. So, notice here that such real love can never ever at all be properly a real love without the proof as well. So, as long as such a beautiful lover God has generously loved his lover to properly prove his real love to him, so it's also reasonable and then acceptable that the God lover must respectfully and gratefully love such his beautiful love of God to properly prove to him his real love as well. Meaning also that as long as real loving by such a beautiful love of God to his lover has been properly proved by making it represented it in such a bestowed beautiful paradise complete building, meaning represented in such bestowed eternal and complete proving happiness by such whole uncountable beautiful bestowed proving graces that all must totally be considered by the God lover as such his beautiful paradise complete building. It's also then reasonable and acceptable that real loving by the God lover to such his beautiful lover God must be properly proved as well by making it represented in that respectful thanking by such a proper way that such a beautiful lover God himself, who has lovely, generously and properly established to the God lover, obviously explained it and named it the worshipping, meaning the religion, which of course no more no less, which of course no wonder then that it comes no more no less, but such whole beautiful moralities represented simply by of course such a beautiful love of God in all what it has to be properly done by the God lover, and in also all what it has not to be properly done, through which the God lover can then of course really prove his real loving to such his beautiful lover God as well. So it's properly here to remember that one of those what it has to be properly done by each God lover to prove his real love to such beautiful lover God is of course brotherly studying his own beautiful paradise complete building with all his brothers around as well, so that each God lover can of course properly get more and more right understanding that of course guides each one to more and more happiness in such his own complete and eternal happiness as well. As a matter of fact, that's why such a beautiful lover, wisdom, God has lovely, generously, and properly aimed gathering all God lovers in this first world life. Of course, for making this first world life as a place of lovely competition in between all God lovers, where each one can lovely, brotherly, sympathy, and mercifully compete his brothers around all over the world to prove his real love to such his beautiful lover God. By of course what? That's right, of course by such a proper way, which is exactly the worshipping, meaning also the religion. It's also very important here to remember that such a beautiful lover God has lovely and generously beautifying such images of all God lovers for of course attracting them to each others to get to know one another around of course such his bestowing upon each one of them as represented in such their own beautiful bestowed proving paradises graces, meaning around of course such their own beautiful bestowed proving eternal and complete happiness by such whole uncountable beautiful bestowed proving graces either all around them and also inside them as well. Whether which thing is that whether which proper thing is that God lovers could meet each others around. Of course, not around the hellfire. The difference between the paradise and the hellfire is obvious now. So, without wasting time, that's why I have invited you to take a look at my own beautiful paradise complete building. Maybe you would lovely and generously agree with me in my properly understanding from such my beautiful lover God to some detailed explanations, which I obviously understood by the proof and then of course undoubtedly believe in. Maybe also you would lovely and generously love to correct me. Why not? As long as you will present to me more and more happiness by more and more proper understanding than I present to you. Thanks a lot. God pleased you, and that's also why I come to you, and that's also why each one must reasonably come to the others as well. Also, maybe both you and me would lovely and brotherly disagree with each other. Why not? As much as both you and me has already got his proper understanding by an obvious proof which his undoubtedly believing must of course be built on. So, congratulations forever from such a beautiful love of God to both you, me, and to each real God lover as well, because of such his own beautiful paradise complete building that he of course all the time carefully cares about properly and undoubtedly knowing it from such his beautiful love of God by the most obvious proof. So, may I invite you first, please, to take a look at my beautiful paradise complete building? May I please? A mean line. Adam and Eve need each other. As a matter of fact, the paradise undoubtedly means the eternal and complete happiness, which can never ever be at all, but only one thing, which is real, beautiful, permanent, loving, in between lovers. Beginning, of course, first of all, with loving in between you and your beautiful lover God as well, who is, of course, the creator of love and the creator of everything else. As a matter of fact, God has simply, as usual, explained that such paradise, meaning such eternal and complete happiness, is mainly a real, beautiful, complete building, which of course consists of its certain parts. So, it can never ever at all be a real paradise, meaning it can never ever at all be eternal and complete happiness without understanding the image of its whole certain parts altogether. Each certain part must be in its certain place as well. So, paradise can never ever at all be a paradise without, of course, both Adam and Eve together as well. Therefore, both Adam and Eve, of course, needs undoubtedly to each other. As a matter of fact, such a beautiful love of God has already lovely, generously, and properly created all creatures kinds as a whole, as couples, females and males, even those atoms of air as well. So, of course, both she and he will undoubtedly meet each other soon, even if both of them didn't meet each other in this first world life. They will meet each other in such high floors of such their own beautiful paradise building as well. God also has aimed staying with each one of his lovers in such his own paradise complete building, for of course getting him to know such his own paradise complete building, meaning such his own eternal and complete happiness building, at the most beautiful, obvious, and enough proof. Upon what? That's right. Upon such a beautiful lover God real existence, that such his beautiful real aim behind started creating indicates to it as well, which is the aim of what and represented in what? That's right. It is the beautiful aim of getting each one of his lovers to know him as a real beautiful lover God, who has mainly aimed started creating just for generously loving and also for being respectfully and gratefully loved as well, meaning generously loving each one of his lovers and also making each one of them respectfully and gratefully loves him as well. So there is of course no need here to ask how can such a beautiful lover God stay with each one of his lovers in his own paradise complete building at the same time as well, because each one of us now already knew from such a beautiful lover God himself that it is he who is ever able, beautiful God, who has such, of course, incomparable ability of doing anything he aims. And in spite of that, he has lovely, generously, and properly. He has lovely and generously aimed nothing but only paradise, meaning happiness to his lover, which of course must be considered at the most beautiful, obvious, and enough proof upon such uncountable and incomparable kind of love from such a beautiful lover God to his lover as well. So now I already know detailed explanations about such beautiful paradise complete building of only both me and my God as a complete building parts of an obvious proof upon the truth, one part after another. So the more I obviously know such my beautiful lover God, who is the builder of such a beautiful bestowed proving paradise of both me and him, proving upon what? That's right. The more then I also undoubtedly believe. Believe in what? That's right. The more then that such a beautiful lover God aim behind started creating me as a God lover is being done, which is the aim of what? That's right. So, it is such a beautiful paradise complete building of only both me and my beautiful lover God, where such my beautiful lover God has lovely and generously aimed staying with me in forever. For of course getting me always to obviously know and then undoubtedly believe in how much he is a real lover to me and really loves me by the proof. And the proof is such a beautiful paradise complete building, meaning such a beautiful eternal and complete happiness building by such uncountable bestowed proving graces. So this is the proving image, meaning the proof upon such his real existence and how much as well he is a real lover to me and also the real creator of the whole beautiful lovely things that represented as a whole by such his holy beautiful aim in such a beautiful love building image, meaning such a beautiful paradise building image, meaning such a beautiful happiness building image. And of course, none is undoubtedly such singular beautiful lover God, but only him, because also none so far, but only him alone, who reasonably ever says, I am alone, such singular beautiful lover God. So it is undoubtedly him. So the more he is still getting me to know how much he loves me by bestowing such proving happiness by such proving graces, the more as well happiness I will still get and live in forever as well. So it's also then never-ending teaching happiness by such my beautiful lover God to me, and also never-ending learning happiness by me as a God lover as well. Now, so here I am, some prayer detailed explanation about some certain parts of such a beautiful paradise complete building of only both me and such my beautiful lover God, of course being explained to me directly from such my beautiful lover God, not only through such message of God words, but also from behind the whole other parts of such a beautiful paradise complete building altogether, because such message of God words is just an only one of such uncountable bestowed proving graces, meaning also just an only one of such uncountable bestowed proving preparations, which are totally being gathered for causing or forming my own beautiful happiness complete building, meaning my own beautiful paradise complete building. So, as a matter of fact, such message of God words, by the whole of its verses altogether, must really be considered as just an only one verse, in just an only one message, that there is never ever at all any other message but only it from such a beautiful lover God to his lover, which is exactly such a beautiful paradise complete building. Rather to say, my own beautiful paradise complete building, which is the never ending message, which is the never ending message that such my beautiful lover God has lovely, generously, and properly aimed talking to me from behind forever, saying properly to me, I love you forever, and I also want you to properly love me forever as well. So, just listen carefully to such your beautiful lover God while he is properly saying to you, I love you from behind each proving grace with which he makes you happy with, so that you can then also properly reply on him, saying to him, I love you too, from behind you respectful and grateful thanking by such, of course, proper way that he explained to you, which is exactly the worshipping, meaning the religion, meaning the whole beautiful moralities, which represented simply by such a beautiful lover God in either all what it has properly to be done by the God lover, whether it is female or male, and also all what it has not properly to be done, through which the God lover can then, of course, really prove his real loving to such his beautiful lover God as well. Another mean line. Not only one paradise for all God lovers, but each one has been lovely and generously created in his own beautiful paradise building. Also better here to remember that in such a beautiful God words message to his lover, God has simply and obviously as usual explained that it is of course not only one paradise for all God lovers as a whole, but there are undoubtedly so many paradises. Each one God lover has already got his own paradise complete building, where he has been already created in as well, specifically in the first and lowest floor of it, meaning this first world life, rather to say, his own first world life. Also such his own beautiful paradise complete building as a whole becomes more and more wide or less and less wide, according of course to the quantity of his real love to such his beautiful lover God as well. And the quantity of his real love to such his beautiful lover God, of course, depends mainly on his knowing to such his beautiful lover God, such enough kind of knowing that makes him really loves such his beautiful lover God, a real love as well. Also such Also, such his enough kind of knowing depends on mainly depends mainly on his right understanding to what such his beautiful lover God exactly wants him to understand. Of course, through such a beautiful message of God's words that has been sent, the same message with each messenger to each God lover's nation just by their language contains nothing more but only what? That's right. In such a beautiful God message to his lover, which is one of such uncountable bestowed proving graces that such a beautiful lover God is already talking to his lover from behind, God has simply and obviously as usual explained that this, this first world life which God has already created his lover in is specifically the first and lowest floor of such paradise complete building. And there are, of course, more and more high, beautiful floors above, which mean more and more happiness floors that the God lover will be promoted through later on. But just in case of working first seriously in the first lowest floor, meaning in this first world life, for winning it. And it's also better here to know that God has just aimed creating his lover in such first and lowest floor just for being promoted later on through the paradise highest floors above, where such eternal and complete happiness will be waiting for him as well, while without such this first lowest floor as a one of such beautiful distinguishing and proving preparations by God to his lover, the happiness can never ever at all the happiness can never ever be at all completed to the God lover as well. So this distinguishing and proving preparation, of course, a one of certain parts of such a beautiful paradise complete building, which can never ever be a paradise, meaning can never ever be eternal and complete happiness building without the whole of its parts all together as well. Each certain part must be in its certain place as well. Now we come to the end of this episode. Till we meet again in the next episode, I love you.